Hello, raw dealers. We've got The Rock deck profile for today. So this is going to be perhaps a little bit unusual deck. So you should play all the good stuff. Play your shenanigans stuff in here too. But yeah, let me start going through the backlash for what I'm excited to be playing in The Rock. Okay, so let's start with the venue. You know, Pago Pago, American Samoa. Great because you get to run a lot of singleton maneuvers and then search out something non-unique. If there's nothing especially good for the matchup, you're gonna want to just grab a reversal like back fist to use in conjunction with Brahma Bull. Feud, just who the hell blue hell do you think you are? Throwback. In terms of stipulation, we're gonna skip stipulation. We're going to go to manager. We're going to go to manage by Vince McMahon. Just great to try and get some efficiency in there. I could definitely see an argument for Terry Runnels or another SmackDown compatible manager here. You are going to be able to play an enormous number of your pre-match cards because of The Rock. So know your role and shut your mouth is great to get 2 pre-match slots back. You're going to want to use Shades of the Great One. You're going to want to use the Brahma Bull. So this is just such a fundamentally incredible card to be able to make so many things so useless to your opponent. Product endorsements, giving them high fives. So giving them high fives is like getting to select a great card out of your top 5, and you're going to put things on the bottom with your ability anyway. Especially in the early turns, if you're kind of walling your opponent off, it's going to be fantastic. So your Superstar Pacific cards do not take up a pre-match or mid-match slot means that you're going to get to play an enormous amount of things. So, the Undisputed Heavyweight title belt is fantastic. Got Premier SmackDown, WWE Championship belt, and banned from ringside. So you're going to be able to recover an unusually large number of cards by using banned from ringside and your ability. You're going to get to play all 12 pre-match slots. Really just fantastic choices here in terms of what you get to do with The Rock. Definitely opened some suggestions. I probably missed some great stuff in virtual. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to throw this up here. Probably not going to need to refer to much of it yet. So let's start with the red stuff in terms of mid-match. So we've got Graceful's Account on Ice, Fortitude Surge, Backlash, Sustained Damage. Really, that's enough. The People's Kip Up, and Get Off My Program. Could easily see Get Off My Program being the road to victory instead. I have another Dex, and I'm a filthy casual. Then in terms of other stuff, we got the Remove the People's Elbow Pad, Bio Bid Burbig. I don't know if people in other communities call it that. Bio Bid Burbig. We got Good Night Everybody if you somehow make it to 70 Fortitude, and 2 copies of Volley Finisher. Might seem unusual for The Rock to go Volley, but it'll make a little bit more sense to go through the deck. So I mentioned that I love Brahma Bull. So 3 copies of Back Fist are going to help you get to the 4 or more volley maneuvers you need for Volley Finisher. So that's one. Then we've got classic 0 Fortitude, the Rock patented foot stop there. So then we've got the singletons that are fantastic to search out on depending on your situation. So if you think you're playing against some weird combo action or Rey Mysterio deck or something, Apchaki Kick is a fantastic pick for Pago Pago. Sidewalk Slam if your opponent's trying to do something cute and irreversible. Shoot Lockup is great against your opponents that are legends. Just to throw for free, they're gonna have to burn their Jimmy Hart and kind of make the way for your other stuff. If you're playing its Heat, Flurry of Strikes, you can probably just draw into it, get to it over time, but it's just a fantastic maneuver and reversal kind of to bridge to huge amounts of fortitude. Thrust knee lift is also really good against heat if you have some way to discard it, especially if they're doing something cute involving chain. You're going to want to get this in your discard pile, put it under the bottom, make sure that a reversal is not the bottom card of your deck, and get some advantage out of it. The fact that you do a lot of things to shuffle your deck with other cards means that putting Thrust Knee Lift on the bottom with its own effect is unusually effective. And then we've got Reverse Clothesline. So almost never playing it as a maneuver. If you can play it against a chain or heat maneuver, you kind of got to have some knowledge of what opposing decks do. And that's, I think, one of the things that makes the rock challenging. This is really not smartly, surgically engineered to be good against chain and heat stuff. Okay, so the zero cost red stuff describes an unusual amount of maneuvers here. Okay, so we've got 3 copies of Unexpected Turn of Events. We've got 3 copies of Quick Reflexes, 3 copies of Elbow to the Face, 3 copies of Clumsy Opponent, 3 copies of Once is Enough, 3 copies of This is the Rock's Show, which is going to get you a non-reversal superstar specific like that, that 5 damage punch that is so phenomenal. 3 Revolution of the Mind. Yeah, so a lot of zeros there. So in total, right, let's not count the action reversals, and let's not even count the Once is Enough. You got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 red cards that are going to work on 18 counting the back fist, but they're not 0. So you've got a super generous helping of cards that are going to be fantastic under Brahma Bull to really put a stop to your opponent. There are some other significant zeros that are worth covering here. We've got 2 copies of Don't Try This at Home, 1 copy of Let's Wrestle already, which combined with the Rock's ability, just so phenomenal. 3 copies of Volley This, because why not punish your opponent's 0 fortitude actions and get some fortitude on board yourself. 3rd generation superstar. So let's get it up here without the glare. As a reversal, you're going to be able to reverse a grapple and search Arsenal if you're playing it from hand. Nope, sorry, that's only as an action that you search Arsenal. But yeah, when it's in your ring area, during your turn, you may overturn 3 cards, discard 3 cards, put it in your hand, and end your turn. So very, very good to do that. We've got Rock Bottom, which is a phenomenal grapple reversal. The People's Elbow. The Rock's Spit Punch. And these maneuvers on their own are not anything necessarily. The People's TDP Great Strike Reversal, go bridge you up to 20. Divine Intervention. Take that move, shine it up real nice, turn that sumbitch sideways, stick it straight up your Rudy Poo candy ass. Another great reversal. You bring the ass, we'll bring the whoopin'. 3 copies of Sloppy Very Sloppy. If you're able to connect with a Once is Enough from hand that these reverse on overturn, you're just going to have a really generous position. 3 copies of That's Broken. That's Broken is phenomenal for going and grabbing those punishing reversals, whether the volley ones, Volley This, or Don't Try This at Home. So I'm gonna go to the uniques before some of the spicier stuff here. So Your Brush with Greatness is over. Smackdown Hotel. Ironically, not a Smackdown card for some reason. Do You Smell What the Rock is Cooking? Get Ready, Your Candy Ass is next, and it doesn't matter what your name is. So all of these are just really, really powerful actions that can complement your volley maneuvers. And then we've got 2 copies of Ego Boost, which are just great against things that are going to try and either ditch your whole hand or chain that you're going to discard for that. Ego Maniacal, which you could use it after Ego Boost. If you get to the point of throwing Ego Maniacal at your opponent, they absolutely need an answer, because they probably can't outlast you once they've taken a hit of a maneuver to have 8 to 20 of their cards removed from the game. And Mania. I don't think there's any shame in winning the game via a count out victory, right? And at 49, you're going to get there if you hit them with a volley finisher, and you're going to be able to recur the mania with your ability. Really, just try to make it connect. If you've got other ideas for this spot, kind of let me know in the comments. I mentioned there's a copy also of Good Night Everybody. So there, if you're just trying to go against somebody who's going to sponge, they think they can sponge better than you. Maybe they're the home team. I think that might be the only team that's capable of doing, or the only deck that's capable of doing so. That's probably going to be a great answer. So I think that Escape to the Side probably deserves a slot in this deck. I'm not sure what I would really want to cut for it. There's probably some other, Reach for the Ropes is a very reasonable card to think might belong in the deck. But again, I don't know what I would want to cut for it. If I wasn't going volley, I would strongly consider making room for shoot actions. I'm tempted for an inclusion of one copy of Get the F Out. I'm tempted for an inclusion of a copy of Gotta Stay Out of Play. Ultimately, though, those cards feel so weak given how reliably you're able to bridge Fortitude. You do run into people who are going to hit you with a dirty low blow and kind of use that to go above and beyond. Still not a big deal. Really something you can overcome. Keep in mind, though, that with the Brahma Bull, let's take a look at it. It's only those played from your opponent's hand. So, the dirty low blow is not going to get blanked. If they've got panic maneuvers, those are not going to get blanked. If your opponent's playing heat, they're not going to get blanked. But that's part of why your reversal base punishes heat so severely and lets you bridge into Fortitude and, threats that Headstrong can't answer, threats that are bigger than, your opponent just reversing your actions. Like, you have enough actions that are unique that you can really push them through and force your opponent to kind of run out of resources. That's, I think, one of the really compelling things that, sure, on its surface, it's really obvious to recur reversals with the rock and just take hits and take hits and takes hits until you're able to kind of force something through. And his action suite really supports forcing through maneuvers like that. But you can just kind of pick a type, action reversal, and wear out your opponents. And few opponents are going to have the quantity of action reversals and when sidewalk slams, honestly, to work through what the rock is cooking. So yeah, I strongly encourage you to try this deck out if you haven't. If you have a popular base of chain and heat decks in your area, again, I recommend you try it out. Notably, there's no chain heats in the deck. Totally could be. There's nothing stopping you. It's very powerful card. Incredible threat to just be able to play it as an action and force your opponent to have an answer, because you're either going to recur a chained heat, maybe 2 chain heats, or they have to deal with it, and you're the rock. You're just going to get them back anyway. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you might want to try out for your metagame and why. I'd really love to hear it. I bet there's some really cool virtual stuff that I have not thought about yet to try out in here. Take care, guys. Until next time, happy raw dealing.